Welcome back. Today we're breaking down Verity by Colleen Hoover in 7 minutes or less. Creepy manuscript, secret confessions, and one seriously twisted ending. Hit like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Lowen Ashley, a struggling writer barely making ends meet, finds herself in the middle of a horrifying accident one morning. A man is struck and killed by a truck right in front of her. Shaken and splattered with blood, she's helped by a calm and kind stranger who offers her his jacket. That man turns out to be Jeremy Crawford, and as fate would have it, they're both headed to the same meeting. At the publisher's office, Lowen learns that Jeremy is the husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, who was in a car accident that left her unable to continue her writing career. Verity's publishers want Lowen to take over and finish Verity's popular book series. Though reluctant, Lowen considers it due to her desperate financial situation and the offer of a generous paycheck. Jeremy invites Lowen to stay at their house for a few days so she can sort through Verity's notes and outlines. Upon arriving at the Crawford home, Lowen meets their young son, Crew, and senses something off about the atmosphere in the house. Verity is confined to a bed, seemingly unresponsive and cared for in a dim upstairs room. Lowen feels unsettled by her presence and Jeremy's protectiveness over her, especially when he insists that Verity doesn't need to be moved or placed in a care facility. Verity's silence is eerie, and her eyes seem to follow Lowen a little too naturally for someone supposedly in a vegetative state. While digging through Verity's office, Lowen discovers a hidden manuscript labelled "So Be It." It's an autobiography Verity appears to have written in secret. Curious, Lowen begins to read, and what she finds is disturbing. Verity confesses to dark, obsessive feelings for Jeremy, along with bitter resentment and jealousy toward her twin daughters. The writing is intimate, graphic, and completely unfiltered, painting Verity as manipulative and dangerous. Lowen is horrified, but also hooked. She keeps the manuscript a secret, unsure whether to tell Jeremy what she's found or to keep reading in hopes of understanding the full story. As she continues to stay in the house, Lowen becomes increasingly unsettled. She hears noises at night, creaks, thumps, and the sound of movement upstairs. She starts to suspect that Verity might not be as helpless as everyone claims. There are moments where she believes she sees Verity's eyes open, her head turn, even a slight smirk. But each time she doubts herself, convincing herself it's stress, lack of sleep, or paranoia from reading the disturbing manuscript. Meanwhile, Lowen and Jeremy grow closer. They share more personal moments and begin forming a quiet, emotional connection. Lowen finds herself falling for him, though guilt and fear gnaw at her every time she reads another page of Verity's terrifying confessions. The deeper she digs, the more dangerous everything feels. Lowen feels trapped emotionally, morally, even physically, as strange things continue to happen. Doors are unlocked after she swore she locked them. Crew behaves oddly when questioned, and through it all, Verity lies in bed, silent, still, watching. Lowen keeps reading Verity's manuscript in secret, unable to pull herself away despite how disturbing it becomes. Verity describes how she faked maternal instincts and loathed the physical changes pregnancy brought. She writes in detail about how she manipulated Jeremy into loving her, how the twins were more of a threat to her relationship than a joy. Each confession makes Lowen sicker to her stomach, but she can't stop. In the manuscript, Verity admits to shocking acts, hurting her daughters, faking concern, and growing increasingly unstable as jealousy over Jeremy's affection for them builds. The more Lowen reads, the more she questions everything around her. Crew starts acting strangely, mentioning things he shouldn't know or claiming Verity talks to him. At one point, Lowen sees Verity at the top of the stairs, standing fully upright, but when she checks again, Verity is back in bed, unmoving. Lowen's fear grows. She starts locking her door at night. She even installs a chain lock after waking up, convinced someone had been in her room. No one believes her suspicions, and Jeremy insists Verity can't possibly move on her own. But Lowen is no longer sure. Her connection with Jeremy deepens. He opens up about his guilt, the deaths of his twin daughters, and his strained attempts to keep things normal for Crew. They share a kiss, hesitant but charged, and Lowen becomes torn between her growing feelings and the guilt of hiding the manuscript from him. She fears what he'll do if he finds out what Verity's written, or worse, if it's all true. Things in the house escalate. Verity's presence becomes unbearable. At night, Lowen hears scraping against her bedroom wall. She finds a knife hidden in Crue's room. When she confronts Jeremy about everything, he brushes it off with logic that makes sense but still doesn't sit right. Lowen can't tell if she's spiraling into paranoia or if she's finally seeing the truth no one else wants to face. All the while, the manuscript creeps toward its climax. Verity's words become more erratic, less like someone confessing guilt and more like someone relishing cruelty. Lowen is reaching her breaking point. She starts to believe Verity isn't only aware of everything going on, but that she's playing a game. And the deeper Lowen falls into the Crawford family's past, the more she realizes she might not make it out with her sanity or her life intact. Lowen finishes reading the manuscript, and what she discovers pushes her over the edge. In Verity's final confession, she details how she intentionally caused the death of her daughter, Harper. She describes letting the child drown, watching as it happened, and then faking panic afterward. The horror of it shakes Lowen to her core. She's no longer questioning whether Verity is dangerous. She's convinced, and now she's certain Jeremy needs to know the truth. When Lowen finally tells him about the manuscript, everything unravels. She shows it to him. At first, he's in disbelief, but as he reads, his face shifts. Rage, grief, clarity. He confronts Verity, who's still lying in bed pretending to be unresponsive. And then in a terrifying, surreal moment, Verity breaks character. She reacts, she speaks. It's the first time Lowen sees her drop the act completely, and it confirms everything she feared. Verity has been faking her condition. What follows is chaos. Jeremy snaps. With Lowen watching, he violently confronts Verity, who pleads and tries to explain, but he refuses to listen. The rage and trauma of losing his daughters, combined with the betrayal of Verity's lies, boil over. He kills her, suffocating her with Lowen's help. It's not premeditated, it's raw, explosive, and desperate. The moment ends with silence, relief, and the weight of irreversible choices settling in. Afterward, Jeremy and Lowen begin a new life together. They leave the house, raise Crew, and even have a baby of their own. For a while, things are quiet, peaceful. But one day, while sorting through the last of their packed belongings, Lowen finds a letter, hidden inside the floorboards of Verity's room. It's not part of the manuscript. It's a letter from Verity to Jeremy. In it, Verity claims the manuscript was never real. She says it was a writing exercise, something her editor once recommended called antagonistic journaling, where the writer explores the mind of a character they fear becoming. She insists none of it was true. Not the drowning, not the hate, not the jealousy. It was all fiction. She also says she pretended to be incapacitated out of fear that Jeremy might hurt her if he learned what she had written. She did it to survive. Lowen is left frozen. The letter shakes everything she believed. There's no way to prove which version of Verity was real, the woman in the manuscript or the one in the letter. Was Verity a monster or a victim? Did Jeremy kill a dangerous sociopath or the mother of his children who made a fatal mistake by writing something she never meant to be found? Lowen burns the letter, and the truth, whatever it is, dies with it. So, are you team manuscript or team letter? Did Verity write her darkest truths or her most dangerous fiction? Let me know in the comments below.